YouTube, what is good? It's your boy NOT, and we are on top of this video, man. This is a video from Jimmy High Roller. It's been a minute since we last reacted to Jimmy High Roller, but this is the video, man. We are witnessing history in the making relating to the NBA, of course. This is currently trending number 4. It dropped like 1 o'clock in the morning, something like that, around midnight. But yeah, man, we are here with this video, 13 minutes long. Let's see what this is talking about, man. Let's see what history is being made in the NBA this season. And probably after this video, I might react to something out of the norm. We'll have to see. It depends on, I don't know. It just depends. It depends. But let's go ahead and get into it, man. And I appreciate all the love and support, man. We are currently at 92 subscribers. Literally, like, when I came back, it was like 13-ish days ago. We were at 60. Now we're at 92, man. So, hey, you guys motivate me every single day to come out with these reactions and, do what I do and give it the most every single time I'm making a reaction video. So let's go ahead and get into it. We gotta like this video, of course, and let's dive straight into it, man. Let's go.
How do you know when someone is the most valuable player in the NBA? Is it strictly based off of producing wins for their team? Do you factor in the historic significance of their performances game after game? Is it about being the most versatile and complete player? Or maybe it's a combination of all of these things. There's no exact science behind the elusive NBA MVP award and who we determine who it is. But what happens when a dozen different players are playing like the most valuable player, but only one of them can go home with the award?
It's crazy.
Prior to 1981, the regular season MVP award was voted on by the players. You would think this method of deciding the most valuable player in the NBA was better than what we have today, with members of the media voting for the MVP. This was far from the case. The voting results of some of these seasons was absolute mayhem. Back in 1972, a young Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was, by far, the best player in the NBA, averaging 35 points, 17 rebounds, and 6 assists a game while leading the Bucks to 63
That's 2K
wins.
numbers right there.
And as a result of playing like Jesus in a Bucks jersey, Kareem walked away that season as the league MVP. But that didn't stop players from voting like they didn't know what MVP even stood for. Because that season, there weren't just a few players who received first place MVP votes. There weren't a handful of players. There wasn't 12 or 13 or 14 or 15 or 16 or 17 or 18, but 19 players from 16 different teams who received first place MVP votes. But get this, there were only 17 teams in the NBA at the time, which means nearly every single team in the NBA had a player that received an MVP vote that season. And you're probably thinking, some of these players received votes from their teammates or maybe even voted for themselves, but no. The league prohibited players from voting for anyone on their team or voting for themselves. These voting results were completely authentic and completely unhinged. Now this season, there will more than likely not be 19 players who receive MVP votes. In fact, this season is so loaded with all-time elite talent that there will be multiple players who will have historically great seasons this year, and they won't even get a mention for the MVP. Luka, Giannis, Curry, Tatum, Morant, Embiid, Jokic, SGA, Booker, Mitchell, Durant. All playing at an MVP caliber in what is quickly becoming the greatest statistical season in NBA history.
I'm not gonna lie, to be quite frank, I'm just gonna go ahead and put my, my who I expect to, be, the MVP. I expect it to be between Donovan Mitchell, Luka Doncic, or Ja Morant. And I'm saying this because all three of these players, I think, are playing, the best basketball in their careers right now. I mean, all of these guys are young, still not even reaching their peaks yet. And, they're putting up, beastly numbers on top teams in the league. Like, I think those three guys, and I just want to see somebody new, man. I'm tired of hearing Giannis every season, or we haven't heard KD in a long time, but maybe if the Nets can continue to turn it around, maybe he might be up there. But like Steph Curry, we don't heard that so many times. The Joker, we don't heard that so many times. Like, it's time to finally hear something new. So I'm just putting out there somebody new, some three players that are new.
If you combine points, rebounds, and
SGA,
assists, here are the combined statistical totals of every MVP in modern NBA history. Sometimes this total is relatively low, like Steve Nash's 2005 MVP, but sometimes it's off the charts, like Russell Westbrook's record-breaking total of 52.7 in 2017. but on average, since 1980, league MVPs had a total of 42 combined points, rebounds, and assists. So if a player can reach this number, 42, it's a solid indicator that they are on a path to becoming the league MVP, or at least a frontrunner. This season, SGA, Ja Morant, Tatum, Durant, Curry, Embiid, Giannis, and Luka are all averaging totals of more than 42. This is unheard of, and it's going to leave a tough decision for the voters of the coveted award.
It's still pretty early in the season.
There are currently 6 players across the league who are averaging over 31 points a game. The last
34?
time this many players averaged at least 31 a game was,
32?
well, never. In fact, in the last 15 seasons combined, there have been 6 players who averaged at least 31 points per game. Let me say that again. There are as many players averaging at least 31 points per game this season as there were players who averaged over 31 points per game in the last 15 seasons combined. The NBA has never seen anything like this. And yet the numbers get even crazier. Offensive box plus minus is one of the better statistics at quantifying a player's offensive impact. In fact, here are some of the greatest offensive seasons since the league began tracking the stat back in 1974. Here's Steve Nash's 2006 MVP season. Here's Derrick Rose's MVP season in 2011, right next to Giannis's first MVP season. But we're not even close to the best offensive seasons of all time. Here's Magic Johnson's MVP season in 1990. Here's Russell Westbrook's MVP season and Kevin Durant's MVP season. And just above that are the best of the best. James Harden in 2019, LeBron in 2009, Tracy McGrady in 2003, and Steph Curry's unanimous MVP season in 2016. Steph remains the only player to ever surpass the plus 10 threshold in offensive box plus minus. And this season, he's doing it again. But even better, Steph is currently having statistically the best offensive season in modern NBA history. So where does all of this put Steph in the MVP race this season?
Bro, I kid you not. Why does it feel like he always has the best season of his career? He's like, this dude is 34, 33, going on 34, maybe 35. He's in that range. But it's like he's continuing. It's like his game, like every season, the best season, the best season, the best season, the best. Like he's not going to fall.
I'm built different.
He's not gonna fall. Like, yo, hasn't been a good season for Golden State, but you know, for him to be up there, even though they're having a bad season, you know, that's pretty good. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a sleeper as well. You know, I think he's underrated just because of, you know, the team that he's with. If he was on like a mainstream team, like, I don't know, like the Celtics or somebody, I think he'd really get noticed.
10th.
He can do a little bit of everything.
The man is 10th on the MVP ladder.
Oh, see, that makes sense.
One of the main reasons why Steph's offensive impact is at an all-time high is due to his mind-boggling efficiency. At this point, it's become universally agreed upon that Steph is the greatest shooter of all time. But this season, he's taken his shooting and scoring to another level. Because at the moment, Steph has the highest true shooting percentage of any player to ever average at least 30 points per game. Or 29 points per game for that matter. Or 28 points, or 27, or 26, or any point per game average even remotely close to his. To find a player who scored more efficiently than Steph has this season, you have to go all the way down to just 16 points per game from Jarrett Allen last season. But Jarrett's a big man whose shots consist of 3-foot layups. What about perimeter players, guys who take jump shots? Well, there has never, ever been a single perimeter player who had a season with a true shooting percentage as high as Steph's is this season. Not at 30 points per game, not at 20, not at 10, not even at 5. It has never happened. This season, Steph is shooting at a higher percentage than any perimeter player in the history of the NBA while scoring 32 points per game. The man is 10th on the MVP leaderboard.
That's
so
crazy.
If Steph is 10th,
it's his team. I'm telling you, it's his team.
Be putting together
if he was like, if his team right now,
well,
continue the way they were last season.
Jason Tatum, who has led the Celtics to one of their best starts in franchise history. Currently, the Celtics have a net rating of 7.7, which is on pace to being the best net rating the organization has had in its entire existence.
14-4?
This season, Jason Tatum is averaging 31, 7, and 5 a game, which is a stat line that is so absurd that prior to this season, there have only been 3 players in NBA history to achieve it. Those players were Michael Jordan, Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Kevin Durant. The man is putting up all-time GOAT level numbers. He is third on the MVP ladder because the 2 players ahead of him are on path to completely redefining the standard of an all-time great season. Throughout NBA history, there have only been 3 players to win a league MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the same season. Michael Jordan in 1988, Hakeem Olajuwon in 1994, and Giannis Antetokounmpo in 2020. Of all the accomplishments a player can achieve, this might just be the rarest and most impressive. And Giannis might just do it again this season. Because if his record-breaking 2020 MVP campaign wasn't dominant enough, he's somehow replicating those numbers again this season. Giannis is not only averaging 31, 12, and 5 a game, he's doing it while being the best defensive player in the entire NBA. Giannis is playing like a Shaq-Tim Duncan hybrid right now, and it's just become so normal at this point that no one's even talking about it. And somehow, one player is having an even better season than Giannis is. Last season, en route to winning his second MVP, Nikola Jokic shattered just about every advanced metric. Jokic led the league in win shares, box plus minus, value over replacement, and he set a new all-time record for the highest single-season PER in league history. Now, the old record was one that stood for half a century, when Wilt Chamberlain averaged a modest 50 points and 26 rebounds a game, which earned him a PER of 32.08. For 5 decades, even the best players the league has ever seen could not touch this mark. Not LeBron, not Bird or Shaq, not even Michael Jordan. But Jokic managed to not only break Wilt's record, he shattered it. And this season, Luka Doncic is on pace to beating Jokic's record. At the moment, Luka is averaging 34 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists per game. So if Jason Tatum's stat line was historic, what does that make Luka's?
Yo, these players are crazy. I'm telling you, bro, Luka might end up actually being the GOAT. If he could top this off with a ring this year, jeez, greatest season of all time from an individual. Yo, these numbers are, hold on, let me go out so you guys can see these numbers. See, that's blocking it a little bit. 34, 9, 8, 33 PER. Yo, this man can't be stopped. Oh, these players are something special, man.
Stat line.
I'm happy to be able to watch these guys. Here's a list of every player in the
history of the NBA who has averaged at least 34, 8, and 9 a game. That's the whole list. That's it. There's nobody else. Luka is on pace to breaking the NBA record for player efficiency while averaging a damn near 34-point triple-double. And that, ladies and gentlemen, might just be what it takes to win an MVP this season. But what about some of these other players who are having awesome seasons? Well, to put into perspective just how insane you have to be playing right now to even crack the MVP leaderboard, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is averaging 31 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds a game on 53% shooting while having one of the highest PERs in NBA history. He is 7 on the MVP leaderboard. Kevin Durant is averaging 37 and 5 a game on career high efficiency. Take a wild guess at where he lands on the MVP leaderboard at the moment. Nowhere. Durant isn't even on the MVP ladder right now. One of the greatest players to ever lace up is in the midst of one of the most productive and efficient seasons of his entire career, and the man can't even crack the MVP leaderboard. But both SGA and KD are doing amazing things on losing teams. What about the players who are playing like the league's most valuable player on winning teams, like Devin Booker? Booker is leading a title-contending team to one of the best records in the NBA, and he's averaging career highs across the board in production and efficiency, putting up 28, 6, and 5 a game. The man was first-team All-NBA last season, and he's playing even better this season. But this season is not like any other, because Devin Booker is 8th on the MVP ladder. Oh, but what about Joel Embiid? The beast in the East just put up one of the greatest regular season performances in NBA history. No, really. Embiid's 59-point bomb against the Jazz last week was the 7th best regular season game in league history. Yeah, that guy is 6th on the MVP ladder. 32, 10, and 5 a game, literally prime Shaq numbers. And the man hasn't even cracked the top 5. You've never seen this before, and neither have I. The MVP race this season is deeper than it's ever been. What was once considered a historically great season may not even earn a player any MVP votes at all this season. The standard for what it takes to be the most valuable player in the NBA has reached an all-time high, and it's going to take an all-time season to win the coveted award. Hope you all enjoyed, and as always, until next time.
Sheesh. Yo, I'm telling you, bro, this is a special season. Now, me personally, bro, ever since I stopped covering NBA highlights, I haven't been keeping, I haven't been really keeping up with, a lot of teams like that because, now that I'm not covering highlights of, big games and stuff like that, like, I'm not really, focused on NBA like that anymore, but I gotta come back and start watching again, man. I gotta, I've had a couple, 2 seasons where, I just, zoned out the game and I didn't really watch any NBA, but this motivates me to get back into it, man, to start watching NBA once again. Currently right now your boy's got the World Cup playing, but yeah, man, I've been focused on a lot of different stuff, but yeah, this is a great season, man. These players are, making history in the making, man, history in the making. I feel like this is gonna be a good season. It's anybody's championship in the West and in the East. But hey, man, that's gonna go ahead and conclude today's video. Might come out later today with, a video out of the norm. If not, I'm just gonna come out with it probably tomorrow or Tuesday. But hey, man, this is your boy NOT signing off, man. Love you guys. Peace. I appreciate all the love, for the past couple of days. We hit one of our biggest videos, 2,400 views. But yeah, man, I appreciate all the love and the support, man. You guys motivate me to keep going, keep posting. But yeah, man, this is NOT signing off, man. Love you guys. Peace. I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Hey, 1,000 by March, man. Let's make it happen.